Hello and welcome to Tabletop Phoenix. This is going to be my deck profile of my first place OTS Championship mekk-knight invoked deck from July 9th. There were 5 rounds of Swiss and the top 8 rounds. I played against round 1 was against Trains. Round 2 was Sky Striker was round 3. Tri-Brigade was round 2. Round 4 was Floowanderies, and round 5 was like adventure, kitchen, sink, good stuff. I'm not sure what to call that deck. In the top 8, I played against, what was it? It was Dynamorphia, another kitchen sink deck, and then Branded. Despia Branded. Without further delay, let's get into the deck list, starting with the main deck. I played 2 Nibiru. In theory, this guy's really good going second, because you want to blind second with this deck. However, in practice, I actually found myself siding this out a lot more, so I think it might be better left in the side deck. Which sounds weird, but there's a lot of changes I want to make to this, even though I do think the list performed very well. Next, we had 3 mekk-knight Purple Nightfall. Probably the best standalone monster, just because he gets me to like any other mekk-knight, and he's like the highest sort of body as well. He dodges everything. He combos a lot of things as well. He's just really good. I also had 1 Pankratops. Pankratops probably didn't need to be in here. I just had 1 spot open and didn't have anything else to put in that spot, so Pankratops seemed like a good pick. He's also another type for like there can be only 1. He's removal. He's big. He's a quick effect. Like he's just good. If he was at 2 or 3, I'd probably play more, to be honest. Well, maybe. I'd have to think about it. Next, we got 2 Indigo Eclipse. I honestly kind of felt like maybe bumping him to 3, because he kind of makes all of your good cards better. And again, he's solid stats all around. He actually won me the final round in time, which was very nice. I feel kind of bad about that win, but I mean, you take what you get, right? And then 2 Blue Sky. I also feel like Blue Sky could be at 3. I go back and forth on playing a slim or kind of a full mekk-knight package. I don't think that either is inherently wrong. It kind of just depends on the format. I think right now, having at least 1 or 2 more names might have been good. I thought about running red or yellow. I just couldn't find them before the event, so yeah, I think I don't know that I would change. Like, I don't think I would go down in any of these numbers, but I definitely think it could have been worth adding 1 or 2 more just for a little utility. Next, the invoked part, obviously 3 Alistair. I saw him surprisingly little throughout the tournament. A lot of the time, the deck was just mekk-knights doing mekk-knight things, and it was very good. Alistair's mostly here because, like, going first, he can set up a column by himself for mekk-knights, and, like, this is not invoked with mekk-knights. This is a mekk-knight deck with an invoked engine, which does change how the deck actually plays when you look at it that way. Like, Alistair is good, don't get me wrong, and the fusions are good, but they are not the main point of the deck, because a lot of what invoked does is susceptible to a lot of the same stuff that, like, Branded is weak to, or Sword Soul. Single interrupts, like Kaijus and the like, Dark Ruler No More, Super Poly, like, they all hurt this just as much as, like, the other decks do. So, honestly, I consider dropping, like, Alistair to 2, and, like, Invocation to 1. I don't know that I'm going to do that, but at the very least, I think I want to try and do that. And then there were 3 Ash Blossom. because Ash Blossom is Ash Blossom. And then 2 Veiler, I actually wish I played a 3rd because Veiler is surprisingly good as a normal summon. So essentially, there were multiple times where I had just normal summoned a hand trap to make mekk-knight and Morningstar, or like the Veiler can make Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden, because he's a level 1 spellcaster. So essentially, in as far as making columns, it's another Alistair, because generally the only benefit to Alistair is he's a spellcaster that can make Artemis. The fact that he gets a fusion on top of that is honestly just a bonus. Like, that's not why I'm running him. Well, I mean, it's not the only reason. That's all the monsters, though. I tried to keep kind of a lower monster count because, like, the spells are what kind of makes the deck tick. Because, like, consistency is just through the roof. I have played, 3 Meltdown, obviously, Search Alistair. 3 Cross-Eyed Designator. This actually was good every time I had it, basically. There was, like, 1 game against Floowandereeze where it wasn't useful, but that's because I didn't have Droll and Lockbird. I just couldn't get him beforehand, so... Droll and Lockbird is definitely something I'm considering adding to the deck. I just have to get them. 3 Super Poly was also... would have been better if I built for it a little bit better. Because, again, like, I just did not prepare for Floowandereeze at all, and it almost cost me that match. He just bricked really bad, and I had there can be only 1 in Game 3, and that just did it. I'm actually going to be putting in Invoked Raijin because of Super Poly, because it lets me out the one Barrier Statue and Apex Avian in, like, 1 go. Because I can just fuse away the Apex Avian for Raijin, and then just hit over or flip down the Barrier Statue, and then I can just combo. 2 World Legacy's Memory. Basically, E-Telly for any mekk-knight. You summon purple, you banish it, you add another guy. Or you link into Morningstar. I don't mind the restriction, because you can also play it on the opponent's turn to block attacks and then just tag out for another guy. Or just let it go back to your hand if you have Blue Sky, because he's 2,500 defense, which isn't too bad. So, like, the Adventure token can't hit over it, for example. Like, Mega Lanica, actually, I also considered for Super Poly, because I confuse away the Adventure token, and that just shuts off all of their things, which is great. I played 2 Invocation. Also with Memory, I can discard it off of Morningstar if I need to get, like, World Legacy Secret, or Succession, just for, like, an extra follow-up. Because sometimes you do open both, and they're kind of awkward. They do lock you into mekk-knight, so you generally want to play it at the end of your thing. But yeah, 2 Invocation. A lot of times I actually drew this without Alistair, and that sucks. So that's kind of also why I was thinking, like, drop the Alistair to 2 and the Invocation to 1. But at the same time, losing the 1 Invocation means that you just can't play invoked stuff anymore, and that also hurts. So it's a very fine line between what is and isn't good. 1 Feather Duster, I think I saw it once, and I didn't play it correctly because I played Super Poly first, and then they had a Super Poly, and yeah, I made a bad read, basically. So it probably is good, but I don't know. 1 Droplet, if I had more, I'd run more. 1 Call by the Grave, it's at 1, I can't run more. 1 World Legacy Succession, it's a monster reborn as long as you summon to a zone that a link monster points to on your field. And then 1 Terraforming as essentially copy 4 of Secret, or Meltdown. Next card, World Legacy Secret, and then I play 3 Imperm. I don't think I need to explain Imperm, however, Secret is very, very, very good, and probably the best card. Like, playing this deck, this is the reason you play this deck. It is that good. Because it negates on resolution, so it doesn't care if you were in the column when the effect was activated, in the same column as a mekk-knight. It just cares if on resolution, if you're still in that column. So I can use this to summon a guy to your column, and it negates your effect. I can use Memory to summon a guy, and I can use Indigo Eclipse to shift the zone of a mekk-knight to another column and negate your guy. And then if I have Morningstar, you want to be in columns to hit over my guys, so it just puts people in a really awkward position where they don't know what to do, and it is fantastic. So for the extra deck, I played one Purgatrio, one Agodes, and one Masquerade. Everyone plays Ash, basically, so Purgatrio is realistically always something I can go into. Agodes was actually a super play target, but also I can Invocation and banish an opponent's like Masquerade from Grave, which seems very strong. I only did play this once, so this might come out for something else. I'm not 100%. What I am 100% on is that Dragostapelia was very good. Anytime I summoned it, it basically won me the game. Or at least it kept me in the game long enough to win. Because he's just good. Same with Starving Venom. Basically any Despia branded matchup, these two are like the best fusions. Masquerade was iffy. I made the mistake of fusing my opponent's Dramaturge and Masquerade for my own, and they just brought them both back. So it kind of didn't do anything outside of make them pay some life points. That was a very silly game one. That game one went on way too long. Then we got two Mekaba. I don't think I need to explain Mekaba. He's an omni-negate. That's also kind of why I like running a bit of traps in the main deck, so I can actually discard to negate a trap. Because otherwise, like, traps could just kind of mess me up. We got the one Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden. Her effects are relevant. She is just Link off Alistair and a light monster. I have thought about putting Almirage back in, or even relinquish Anima because of effect failure and any other level 1 hand traps I happen to run. Just for some nice extra removal, maybe Link Kribo, like that. Like, the extra deck on this is like, if there were 20 cards, I still wouldn't be able to fit everything I want. That's how packed the extra deck is on this. Masquerena, several times I made an access code with her. It's very good. They just can't out it. It's great. Invoker of Madness. He never came up once. Like, anytime I could have made him, it just was not worth making him. Because, like, mekk-knight Morningstar was better, or Masquerena was better, or Lib the World Keyblade Master. Speaking of which, there she is. She's really good. She just sets Secret directly from the deck, and then if you link summon using her after she was link summoned, like with Masquerena, you get to shuffle a card on the field into the deck, and it doesn't target. So, like, ending your turn 1 going first with these two, you can just Masquerena link into access code, or Nightmare Phoenix, and you get to just spin a card back, and then, like, chain block with access code's effect, so they can't do anything, or you just get to shuffle back 2 cards if you have a card to discard for Nightmare Phoenix, or Nightmare Unicorn. And then it can't be destroyed by card effects either, so it's just really good. Like, the value you get off her is really good. That's also why I like to main a bit more of the World Legacy spell traps. Just because it's, like, I even thought about jamming in a couple World Legacy monsters, like World Legacy World Chalice, because he can also banish from grave on a later turn, and add a World Legacy spell trap from deck, but the dead draw risk is there, and like, having a way to discard it reliably is also just kind of awkward. So it wasn't in the cards, basically. I play 2 Morningstar, which is probably the best monster in the extra deck, because it just gets me to anything I need. And he basically says I can't die as long as I have the ability to move stuff around. And again, it just, like, everyone was like, I need to read this guy again. What does he do? What does he do? What does he do? And then, like, when I have him and Secret, it's pure confusion, and that's what you want to see. People not knowing what your shit does and not knowing to play around it just means that you're going to win more than likely. Nightmare Unicorn, the only Link 3 I really felt like was worth a spot. I do wish I kind of had another Link 3, but it's just kind of awkward fitting stuff in here. And then the last card is Access Code. He ends games. He's big. He blows everything up. That's kind of the other thing I was thinking about with Almirage, is it would give me one more attribute to use for his effect. Because right now I have Light and Dark in the extra deck, and that's it. uh, for link monsters. So he only can pop at most 2 times in a turn, and sometimes that third pop is necessary for me to actually secure a win. So little awkward things. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but Alistair Invoker of Madness is definitely going to come out, so we'll see what I can find to put in besides Raijin. Side deck was kind of weird. I made a couple last minute changes because a friend needed to borrow a couple cards, and I figured why not. So I played 2DD Crow. These actually were... I don't think I ever saw them when they would have been useful, but the couple games I did side them in, I drew one and I used it with a mekk-knight to make Morningstar, and that kind of just did it. So as far as being helpful, it just wasn't helpful because of its effect. Format dependent for sure. I think Droll might have been better, but again, I didn't have Droll. 3 Mystic Mine. The reason I played mine is this deck struggles going first, especially with, like, if you open all mekk-knights. It's just awkward as hell. So the theory was that I would set up, like, a Mekaba and pass, and then Mekaba can kind of handle their first monster, or like, their second, and then, like, once they put out more than one, they just can't do anything, so that would kind of insulate me from them making big pushes if they wanted to be able to contest the Mekaba, or if they wanted to just go for the same number of monsters to get this to kill itself. That would also be fine, and then I'd be free to just pop off and do my thing next turn. In theory, it's really good. In practice, not so much. I cited it against like 1 or 2 decks, and it just did not work. It wasn't worth... Like, if it had been any other card, I think it would have been better. So this was probably not going to stay in as much as I wish it could, because it's a really strong card. And then I had 3 Cosmic Cyclones. These were pretty much always good when I drew them, so I think there was like one time where I had like 100 life left and I drew it, and I'm just like, okay, we're going game 2, or game 3. So it's just like, no. I mean, the life cost is give and take. Sometimes it doesn't matter, sometimes it very much matters. So it's... Maybe Twin Twister would be better. Lightning Storm I can't afford right now, so... you know, it's kind of just how you want to address things. Having the quick player removal is important, though. Against Flaunderies, for example, they cited an anti-spell. They activated it in standby phase, I changed Cosmic, and they flipped up another one. So, like, if I had the Twin Twister instead, it would have gotten me the out, but I think Cosmic is just a little bit better for being able to banish things instead of destroying them, because, like... Eldritch likes their graveyard. I think Adventure wants to keep their equips. There's a bunch of other things like that just they want their things to stay in grave or on field, or they just can't be destroyed once a turn or something like that. So, you know, it's a little harder to stop Cosmic compared to something else. 3-dimensional barrier. Every time I saw this, it was good. Or at the very least, like, I didn't need it when I saw it, so it's kind of like, it helps insulate things. I mean, it makes Branded just nothing. Theoretically, it's good against Sword Soul. I didn't play against Sword Soul, so unfortunately, I haven't really played against that matchup too much, but I have played with the deck myself a bit, so I kind of know how it works. 3, there can be only 1. The mekk-knight Morningstar is a machine. The main deck mekk-knights are all psychics, and Alistair is a spellcaster. So, in theory, this doesn't really hurt me too much, and I can also, like, blink purple to, like, get another guy out, and then, like, link summon again, and then purple will just come back on my standby phase, that sort of thing. So, every time I saw this, it won me the game. Against Flaunderies, it won. Against Sky Striker, it was good until they had the out to it. I am debating putting in anti-spell of my own, maybe in place of the Mystic Mines, so, like, these two together, or, like, this with Dimensional Barrier is enough to, like, win games. So, I think it was really good. I don't think I would take it out, and if I made, like, a go first build for whatever reason, I might even main this. And then the last card was a second World Legacy Secret for when I knew I'd be going first. I actually cited this in a lot, even going second, because, like, I just want to open this card. Like, this card is just so freaking good. So I might bump this back to 2 in the main deck. I might leave the 3rd in the side. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, that was my deck list. I'll probably post an updated version in the next week or so. I might try and get some games going at locals tomorrow, just to kind of get some more content, because I do want to try and actually have this channel be successful. So any support in that regard will be great. I'm working on getting kind of better hardware so I can actually like edit, which would be nice. So make sure to like, subscribe, comment, because algorithm stuff is good. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.